All right, here's one of our little figures that we've cut out to do our singer, one of our little choir singers with. Now this is only about 3¼ inches high. I'll cut it down to about 1 1/8 inch thick. Most of them are 1¼ to 1 1/8 inch thick. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do this. First of all, we want to establish our head right here like we always do. So we come down here like this, and basically your patterns are pretty much very much the same, but you want to get them come over here and do the same. And we just kind of go around, and we establish where our head is, of course. This has been going to be a fun project. I'm probably going to do about 30 men in this set. I won't be ready by, of course, this Christmas, but you can actually use this as for any holiday or whatever it is that the choir singers. And so I'm just kind of getting, I didn't know whether I was going to put them all in a choir type atmosphere with the choir books and everything like that, but I thought, that would be kind of boring. They're all going to look the same. So I went ahead and went with the different people, different guys, different men, and different looks and different styles. So that's what I did. And we're outside, of course, and it's beautiful out here today. I just made a video and put it out of how the conditions were down here in Texas. We have been through some very rough few months, and we have gotten through it. And so I'm just kind of go around and just kind of get this stuff going down. Now, just kind of shaping things just a little bit. My bandsaw got caught up in here. I don't know why it did, and I'll get those out of there. But it gave me kind of a rough cuts inside here. I will get those out of there. That's no problem. About what the situation is down here in Texas and how bad we got it and stuff. So if you watch that tape, you'll know that we got pretty good, got slammed pretty good, but we didn't get slammed like Lake Charles. So we're still holding on. And then Lake Charles got slammed with Laura and Delta, both. And now there's another one in the Gulf, but I don't think it's going to come near us, but it's still looks like going to affect Louisiana, possibly Lake Charles to Mississippi again. And they just got some stuff. All right, I'm just kind of going around here, getting the form of the piece made. Now this pattern that I had basically is a pattern, it's a pattern I've used a lot, but it's also a pattern that Harold Enlow had for one of his hobo books, and it's a very simple pattern. As everybody knows, I'm not a rough out man. I don't care for rough outs all that much. I like to cut out my own patterns and do my own little small figures and stuff like that. So I'm nothing against rough outs. I just like to cut out my little patterns and do my little people myself. So this is, as you can see, this is a pretty simple pattern right here that we're using, and so we're getting that. Okay, let me get this head a little bit. Now, these singers can be dressed in different forms of dress. It's like a bunch of men just got together and not a formal choir and began singing the songs. And one of the things what you do at Christmas time is you put them all together and make a little place for them, and then you get a little recorder or something like that, and you put it on, and it's like, you know, they're singing Christmas songs or whatever. So this is kind of a unique little thing. So far I have about 9 people, and I actually saw a picture of one that some people had done, and I was really impressed with it. This is something to do. So we have to kind of figure out what is this guy going to be doing, or what is his thing. Now, a lot of them, the way that they're created is, a lot of them have their hands behind their back, you know, and a lot of them have their hands in their pockets a lot of them. So it really, that's not really, it's sort of an informal type situation that you have your figures in. So what I'm going to do with this guy is I'm going to have one hand in his pocket, and I will draw that out right here, come to the bend and come down like this, and then come over and then come up like that. So I will have one hand of his in his pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Some of them both hands are in the pocket. Some of them both hands are at the side. Different forms that you have. You know, you can have like a farmer, you can have a fireman, you can have whatever you want. And I'm just going to come back here and just cut down on this right here. Okay. And give this a cut up here like this. But we are safe down here. I've been helping a lot of people cut branches. I went yesterday with a guy a friend of ours who has COPD. I'm going to put it in the pocket right there, if you see how I did it. There you go. And we helped him cut branches off of his trees. And so a lot of trees and a lot of I was sitting right here the day Delta came in, and we were all expecting 40-mile-an-hour winds, and I sat here and was enjoying the breeze, and then I began to feel the wind really howling and coming up, and then the rain started coming and along. Now, one day, it's really, really funny. My brother and I sit out here, and we heard rain coming, and we couldn't see it. And we looked over, and it was like this huge wall of rain coming at us, in other words. And we thought, wow, and that unique. God is a unique God. He is a unique God. But He doesn't want us to take nature for granted, because, tell you what, you can really have some rough times with this. All right, now one of the things I want to do definitely is to continue as I carve this. Let me get I absolutely love this little tape rule that I have on my my keys that I can just whip out. You can get them at Walmart, things like that. Stanley makes them. This is 3.5, so I want to bring that head down just a little bit. I want to try to bring it down to about 3.25, so that the men will not be too much taller than one another. They'll be pretty you know, Jennin. And the other hand, I'm just going to kind of bring it down here. I'm going to bring it down here, and then bring it up here like this, and bring it over, and bring it down like that. In other words, just sort of a just like that. Okay. Now let me cut that right there, and then bring that up. And then cut it. See, one of the things good about this pattern is back here it leaves you plenty of room to work with, to do your arms, and then you can cut it down if you want to. But it leaves you plenty of room to do what you have to do. I want to carve a little Amish guy with an Amish hat. I'm going to carve that. Him be one of the, be cute. But I want his arms down at his side. I talked to my son in Kentucky, and he is excited. He's getting him a better job at the prison. Job he wants to get into internal affairs, and that's where he's kind of headed. And he's in coal country up there. And now I don't get into political stuff, but you know, when I heard that, you know, one of our candidates said that, you know, he wanted to kind of do away with oil and gas and stuff, which I guess that's exactly what he had said, but it kind of upset me, because that's the industry I worked in. My son, the reason I say that is my son was up in the place where he lived in Kentucky. That was coal country. A lot of people lost their jobs in the coal industry and stuff like that. So, and I'm sure some of you out there know that. And I don't blame any specific person It just happens sometimes. It does. But I worked in the oil industry, and my goodness, everything in the world is made out of oil and chemicals. But I'm not going to get into the political realm of things, but I worked in that 40 years, and I tell you what, it's an industry. It's quite an industry. We used to make the soap for Procter & Gamble. We made N95, which was the main ingredient for Liquid Tide. And we still have the plant out there. OSP, soap plants is what we used to call them. Okay, there we go. We got his him going in such a way. Okay, let me measure as we go. Well, I was a part of that industry, and you have to understand when you're a part of it, people just don't really understand. Even making electric cars, you have to have the chemicals and the stuff to create those type of things, because all of our propylene and ethylene went into the car industry. Okay, let me see. Let's measure it here. It's looking better. Much better. And so we had a lot of influence upon these industries. Lord, everything else associated with oil and gas is unbelievable. People, the businesses, everything. I don't really think what the man said he meant. I really don't. I don't think he meant what he said in that sense. I hope he didn't, because it's a serious issue. If he did, well, so much for that. I just have a lot of friends that work in this industry, and it would, let's put it this way, folks. If the oil and gas industry was ever destroyed, this town that my mother lives in and where I live would be a ghost town. It would be a absolute ghost town. So, because we live, that's our main object down here, and our cities get taxes off of them and things like that. They pay large amounts of taxes to be in our cities, so we very heavily depend upon the chemical industry and things like that down here. And please don't send me a bunch of notes saying this and that, because I'm just telling you what would happen in our industry down here. And like I said, that's what I know. Now you may know something different, but that's what I know. Or that's what I worked in. Okay. We're getting him there. I'm just kind of looking around, and I didn't mean to get any political in there at all. I know the type of industry that I've worked in very well. All right, now we're looking better. We're looking so much better and stuff. Let's see, got a little bad place right there. See if we can put our knife in it. Look at that. Stick my knife in there. Just a little bad place in there. Okay. Let's continue with our figure. Now, what are we going to do with our figure? How are we going to make him? What kind of clothes are we going to put on him? What are we going to do with our figure here? Okay. Just kind of going around. Let me check again one more time. You don't want your figures okay, that's lower. Stuff. Let me be sure and get it back here. Now, do we want to put a hat on him or something like that? You know, I think so. I'm going to go ahead and just put a little, come around here. Okay. And I'm going to put a little hat on him. So I'm going to cut this like this. And make cuts in here.